We are live, guys.
Mhm.
Welcome to Enter Africa. This is Enter Africa Nairobi, and today is the Enter Africa Game Night. I am your host, Joseph Well, alongside Wangare, who calls herself One Gamer, and she will be speaking in a few. But before much ado, let us be on standby for our national anthem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At this point, I would like to welcome everyone on board who is joining us from wherever you are watching. In East African time, this is it's 6:20 p.m. and it could be a good evening or it could be a good morning. Depends on which part of the world you are in. So at this point, I would like to introduce my co-host, One Gamer. Please say something. Then you introduce our panelists or those who are with us from the panel.
Okay. Thank you very much, colleagues, and I'm really delighted today to be at the Enter African Nairobi Collective, the game night. And today is a Saturday, 19th of December, 2020. The game night is at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's an evening to reckon with demos, discussions, and lots of fun. And you'll get to know who are the members of the Enter African Nairobi Collective. Some of them will be on this call today. So today we have Wendy Ndaki and Roy Kiselo, who are members of the Enter Africa Nairobi Collective, and we will be hearing more from them. So back to you, Joseph. Thank you.
Okay, so a little bit about Enter Africa. So Enter Africa is a creative African network which is represented by 15 African countries, and the project was initiated by Goethe Institute in the Sub-Saharan African region. So the project brought together interdisciplinary teams, including architects, urban planners, IT experts, and artists drawn from 15 African countries. These artists came together to develop 15 local-based games, both for smartphones and one game for an analog playability. And this analog game is a mega game that was addressing challenges of urban transformation, borderlessness, and Africa's past, present, and future. Now, this process generated a network of creative, innovative, young professionals across the African continent, and which is majorly called the Enter Africa community. And here in Kenya, the Nairobi, this is now the team that represents Enter Africa Kenya chapter. And we have plans to even expand to other counties as well. Together, we use games and game thinking to realize our visions for Africa's future. And this is mostly known as gamification, or that's the professional term. Now, Enter Africa Nairobi has been very robust in terms of building video games, coming up with hackathons, and also various events just to center around gaming. And today we are in the process of developing a game called Reconnect. And this event is basically meant for us all, from wherever you are at home, to play together in isolation. Thank you so much. I'll take it back to Angare now to introduce the next session, and then she'll let me know what next. Wangare?
Okay. Thank you very much, Joseph, for that introduction on behalf of the Enter Africa Nairobi president, who is Philip Nzioke, and also on behalf of the colleagues for letting us know about the Enter Africa Nairobi, and also Enter Africa, the 15 countries that are in gaming. So, Joseph, are we having? Could we have the presentation on the Reconnect game that the Enter Africa Nairobi Collective is working on, just so that we can have a taste of it? Back to you, Joseph.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. So we have the trailer in queue. This trailer is for Reconnect game, which is actually meant, or what the idea behind Reconnect is that people can, come together again. This year had been a challenge. Coronavirus, brought people very much apart, but we're saying we're still together, even in isolation, and we can still play together. So the video brought together all these brains from the Enter Africa community, and you're going to see them at the end of the trailer. And you can see it's a collaboration between iMovie and Enter Africa Nairobi. And this is an Enter Africa project called Reconnect. And you can see, the big team at the end. Thank you so much. So at this point, I would like to now delve into the business of the day. It's a game night that brings together different events. We've said it's demos, discussions, and so much more fun. So we'd like to introduce our next speaker, or our next gamer, or our next creative. Please, Wangari, do the honors.
Yes, thank you thank you, Joseph, for that the screening of Reconnect. And Joseph, so what's Reconnect all about? Before we can get to our first speaker, what's Reconnect all about?
Yes. So as we said, Reconnect was inspired by the events of 2020, how everything, it was a roller coaster of stuff happening. No one was prepared. No one had been into 2020 before. We didn't know that the year would turn out to be, a lockdown year, a year in isolation. So Reconnect is all about a game that aims at bringing people together and creating awareness on, first of all, mental health, on the importance of human relations or relationships, on the importance of valuing friendship, valuing the human race. And Reconnect is basically about, it's a game centered in a city that has been hit by a pandemic and people are isolated. But one girl is, aiming to go out there and uh, fight this pandemic so that the world can be a pandemic free world and people can come back and interact again and reconnect. And I would like to share, there are some visuals that inspire that. if we have a moment. But yeah, meanwhile, so this the idea, it started from ideation, whereby uh, the Inter-African team sat together and said, "So guys, what do we do? We have a pandemic this year. Can we just keep quiet?" And we were like, "Yes, I think we need to do something." And so it started by game writing, like just scribbling together the ideas. And it's really interesting how we finally settled on one idea. Initially, guys just wanted something like a chase, a run game, where an enemy comes and is knocked out and boom. But through a very amazing mind called Wendy Ndaki, she was like, "No, guys, I don't think we just want a game where people are just shooting each other and others are dying. We are tired of seeing blood this year. We're tired of losing lives. We don't want people playing another game where people are losing lives by being knocked out by other humans. And yet we want a world where there's love, there is reconnecting." So this lady, the game writer Wendy, we started brainstorming, led by Wendy as the head game writer, and the writers came together, and then after that, now the developers were given the scripts, and the designers, and also the marketers from the team, and together we could be meeting weekly, and sometimes even more than once in a week. And so this is a journey that we've been, you know, traveling, and we hope that the end product, the final baby, will be delivered very soon. Yes, I wanted to
Okay.
share. I wanted to
Thank you,
share.
Joseph. Could
Mhm.
we? Yeah. Okay.
Just wanted to share one
Uh,
visual about Reconnect, and just to say yes. So it's all about recalling, reconvening, and connecting. So reconnect. Okay. Yeah. So recalling, remembering what we've been going through, reconvening, coming together, and finally connecting. Thank you so much. Please, one gamer, if you don't mind, take us to the next session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph. And now that allows me to first just do a rundown on who the team members are for the Enter African Nairobi Collective. Yes, we have the president, who is Philip Nzioka. And we have Joseph Obiel, who's with us on the session today, who is the vice president. We have Wendy Ndaki Mutisia, who is also with us on the call today. We have Roy Kisielo Walimbwa, who's also with us on the call today, so you'll also get to hear from him. Wangari Kabiru, that is myself. And we have Calvin Nathan Lichungu, who will be on a subsequent call. And we also have Cliff Gore, who's also going to be on a subsequent call. So this is the Inter-African Nairobi Collective team. That is the Nairobi Inter-African Nairobi Collective team. And today we have our game night themed Reconnect, playing together in isolation. So today in isolation, we have Wendy Ndaki, and we also have Roy Kisielo. So we'll be starting off with Wendy Ndaki for to enable us to get to hear on women in gaming, the tropes, the wins, and the battles with Wendy Ndaki. Wendy, good evening to you.
Good evening, Wangari.
How are you, and how is reconnecting, being together in isolation?
I am well, thank you. I hope you are as well.
Yes, I am.
And I'm happy to be here. This is nice to meet up like this again as a team. And it feels good to reconnect in isolation like this. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. So Wendy, with you today, we will be focusing on our interactive conversation is on women in gaming, the tropes, the wins, and the battles. That's what we will be looking at in the few minutes with you. So firstly, I wish to make a request if you could just kindly introduce yourself. Yes, so who is Wendy Ndaki in this context, and then we can get into the conversation. Thank you, Wendy.
All right, thank you. So, as you've heard, my name is Wendy Ndaki. I am a visual artist and a writer. I mostly focus on the gaming industry, and I review events that happen, like trainings we have as a gamers community on different aspects in gaming. I also write scripts. I currently have a client, a couple of clients I'm writing scripts for. And yeah, so I'm also an art instructor. I teach about visual art, the Kenyan culture, and in a company based in America. So yeah, so I do writing a lot and a bit of visual art through the job I have as an instructor. Yes, and as you can see, this is my blog where you can go and get more information on me.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. It's good to be able to also have just gotten to see your blog. I know Joseph will put it back up so that we can be able to get to see your work as we have this conversation with you. So, Wendy, let's talk about women in video and gaming, and in video gaming. And where in video gaming we have players, we have characters, and we actually have career professionals, and we have hobbyists. So you could tell us from your context or your perspective. So tell us about women in video gaming. It could be from your perspective in those areas.
All right. So, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the place of Enter Africa in my own journey as a woman in gaming, because it is through Enter Africa that I've gotten to expand and grow in the industry. So, I found out about Enter Africa through my mentor. Her name is Ngando Muki. She's mostly known in the film industry. So, it also goes to highlight the importance of mentorship, because it's thanks to her nudge for me to try out the project that I'm actually here with you, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah, so and Africa has allowed me to connect with so many people in the industry. I have mentioned I write scripts, so I currently have a client based in Rwanda. Thanks to one of the trips I traveled to Ethiopia in connection with Enter Africa. So I met him there and we built a bond. And now he requested me to write a script for his game. His company is called Dope Apps, and the game is called Keza 3D game. And it's based on a heroine, which is also good, because there are very few games that are highlighting women, and also it's also helping with reducing the cases of teenage pregnancies, and also enlightening the youth on sexual health. Ways to stay healthy. Yeah, so it's a serious game, which I'm happy to be a part of. So, as I mentioned, Enter Africa has been key to my getting to this where I am right now as a woman in gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, quite interesting because yes, we get that you are actually working on a game, or you're part of a game where women are part of the characters, and as you indicate, yeah, as a heroine, that's not been the norm,
Yeah.
and also. Yes, we have women as players and also as career professionals. From what you're speaking about, it means for you that this is actually a possible or a career area, not even just a hobby, because you're actually doing it professionally.
Yes, very true. And it's like a dream come true, to be honest, because I've always been passionate about art and technology. As you can see on my blog, it's Wendy Art IT, but pronounced as Wendy at It, for just to show that I've been at it with my art and technology, because I did IT in university, but I've always loved art. I actually even wanted to do it in university, but I wasn't able to. So yeah, it's why I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry, could you kindly take me
Yes,
back on
yes,
there?
I had just pointed out that it's quite interesting that you're working on a game where it's a woman who's a heroine, and then also
Yeah,
that this is actually a career that it's actually a career and not on in addition to being a hobby, or it is transitioning from a hobby into a career. And it would be quite interesting, Wendy, to hear from you in terms of how you transitioned, let me say, from the hobby, because yes, Wendy at it has been at it, and now you are, getting into this as a career. Yes, yeah. How has
Yes.
that transition journey been?
Okay. First of all, it has been a roller coaster because you see, I have written many articles, and all these articles are just me writing because I love writing. And some of them I'd feature events for big companies, but then though I do it pro bono, so I wouldn't earn anything. But then, thanks to my documenting my articles like this, I have been able to get clients. So my blog right now is like my portfolio. So people go through it, and then I get clients. Like starting next year, I'll be, God willing, if everything goes right, I'll be writing for a very big. You'll find out later. Organization about gaming in Africa. Yeah, so it feels like a dream, as I mentioned, because I just love writing. So I do it because I love it, but then it has opened so many opportunities because of, just following this path that I love. And also thanks to Enter Africa and all these other people, my mentors, and you as a team as well, for us staying together as we have, because I also get a lot of encouragement from the team as well when I'm doing my things. So yeah, it has transitioned a lot of roller coasters, but then things are leveling up and are getting easier as we go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, quite interesting, Wendy, when you say this, because I think there's actually a quote that says, "Find what you love and let it kill you." It's a quote from, a gentleman by the name of Charles, and I think what it really just means is just immerse in it. When you find it, when you find your art, then just immerse
Mhm.
in it, as Wendy at it. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for that insight. So, Wendy, I'd like to move to the next part, which we can look at what are some of the wins, and also what are some of the inspirational experiences that are there related to women in gaming that you're able to share, and even for yourself, what have been some of the wins? What have really been some of the really inspirational either experiences or moments that you could share with us?
All right. So I think one of my highlights this year was being requested by um, some of my West African friends to be a part of this event or this company known as Africa Comicade, which was organizing a gameathon, which included many talks and then a game jam at the end of the session, the talks. Yeah, so that was a highlight because to get to interact with people outside the country and come up with an event as big as it was um, felt humbling, and also the fact that I am among the very few women who are part of the team. So I counted that as a big win. Um, yeah, and then within the event also, we tried to encourage women to participate in the game jam. And I remember we had awards for all the women that participated. So we're trying to find incentives to encourage more women into the industry. So yeah, that was a big win for me. And
Okay.
then there's
That,
also Black. Yes, sorry.
I think that that's really really commendable, because it speaks into also the ability that technology has provided for us to be able to engage with communities that are not even anywhere near to us. And I think that's a very good illustration of that. Even for women, they are unlimited, because you can now be able to get opportunities across boundaries and borders. Wonderful. Yes, you were saying something
Very
else.
true. Yes. So another win for me has been a scholarship I got on on virtual reality. So it's a scholarship for women only again. So there are many opportunities out there for women. And this I got through Joseph, and I'm very grateful, Joseph. Yeah, so it's based in Kenya, the training, and it's by a company known as Black Rhino VR, and in partnership with the Ford Foundation as well as Oculus. So far we've done I think 2 months now, and we're about to finish next year, January. By end of January, we should be done, and we are also going to shoot something in 360 at the end. And this is a very I don't know how to put it, but I feel like it's a blessing to me because I've always been interested in VR, and I know how costly courses in VR could be. So getting a scholarship like this is I'm just grateful. Yeah, so this is also a big win for me. And then finally, I attended the Hack Your Culture uh, a hackathon, which is based in South Africa. And I really wanted us to go as a team, but unfortunately, we were not able to go together. But I met a very great people there. Two guys. One is called Brian Mutai. He's based in Kenya, and then another one is called Abdu, and he's based in Senegal. So we went on through the 3 weeks, created 3 solutions, but we were only able to submit 2. So one of our solutions won an award, and we were, so happy about it. Yeah, and then just when we're enjoying the gift, I mean the high of receiving an award, we also get other good news about the other solution being fully funded by the Goethe Institute based in South Africa. So yeah, it's been, I think, an amazing year, especially towards the end for me. We're still waiting on the award, but then it's on its way, and the project will run. The one that's being fully funded will run for 4 months next year. So as a creative entrepreneur now, at least I'm also seeing that there's a source of income that would be, coming consistently in a few months. And I'm also setting other sources of income. So I'm happy as a woman in gaming to be finding revenue streams in different ways. Yeah.
Wonderful. I really like
Thank
especially
you.
that Wendy, I really like that part as you were going into the closing, because even in this conversation, Mariah Kisielo will be speaking to us about monetization during the interactive session. And you've actually just started to indicate the way that creative entrepreneurs, as you've expanded the conversation, are actually able to monetize using your example. And just moving on, I would like to ask, and as we get into the closing, what are some of the battles that are still out there, and
Okay.
or what's the work in progress when it comes to women in gaming?
All right. So as I mentioned, I'm part of Africa Communicate, the one that organizes. It started this year, but we'll be organizing events where creatives come to collaborate. So we noticed that even with the incentive of getting women, giving women awards for participating in the game jam, there was still a very low turnout. Yeah, so I feel like we still need to find creative ways to incentivize things to attract more women into the industry. Yeah, and then another challenge, which is not necessarily in line with women in gaming, but another challenge we saw during the Africa Communicate Gameathon was there were very few inter-country um, interactions. So Roy got to win an award, actually. Thank you for participating, Roy, because he was in a diverse team. So we were also awarding teams that were diverse because we want countries to interact with each other, because there's a lot of value in, getting people who are not used to your environment, who have different perspectives. Because when you create solutions and games like this, then they're richer. So yeah, we noticed that there were very few people interacting like this. So yeah, I think that's a big challenge, and hopefully in the future, as we continue with these events, we'll be able to get more inter-country interactions. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Wendy Ndaki, who's Wendy at Eat. So we've been able to have an interactive conversation with Wendy at Eat on women in gaming, the tropes, the wins, and the battles. And so, in just closing this part, what's your message? What's your one word for women in gaming in 2021?
All right. So I think my message to women, I don't have a word. I have just like something, a sentence of sorts. So I'm here to tell you that there are opportunities out there for you as a woman. All you need to do is open up to them and also be brave and apply, because if you don't apply, you will never know. Yeah, so be brave when you see these opportunities and apply. And I bet you'll be able to get these brilliant opportunities flowing your way if you do so. So I wish you all the best, and I hope I have inspired someone out there to try out these opportunities when they see them. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much, Wendy. And I still wrap it up. We are based on what Charles Bukowski said: find what you love and let it kill you. So we've been having a dialogue with Wendy at It, that is Wendy Ndaki, who was speaking to us on women in gaming, the tropes, the wins, and the battles. And so over back to you, Joseph Obiel.
I think at this rate I'm gonna die because I love art and I think it's gonna kill me one of these days. And thank you so much, Wendy, by the way, for your very informative and entertaining session. It was really great to hear what what you've gone through, your experiences. They are really really amazing, and also like just how you are very positive about the year. And it's good to hear that someone has won. I mean, that someone has had highlighting moments this year when everyone was just complaining. So that's very encouraging. And to the women, I think that's very very encouraging to see one of their own on the global map. So thank you so much. I would like to invite Roy Kisielo, who is also a designer, an educator, an animator, an artist. Go, Roy, go.
All right. Thank you,
So
Joseph.
Roy is going to share something.
Yes. I meant to share a few things here.
Yes.
Let me just share. Um, there's one thing I wanted to share, which was our game.
Mhm.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, you can.
You can, eh? What does it say? Because I can't see.
The avoidance.
Yes. So this,
The avoidance.
yes. So this is a game we did for the VR AR hackathon that the recently passed hackathon, and we came in third. We were a team of three. Our team is called Kaziwazi, and the theme was basically just to come with solutions and also just hack a game of sorts. So what we decided was to create a game called the Avoidance, and it's just in line with what's going on with the COVID and everything. And we were trying to highlight like basically what exactly like like what a character. We have a character who's an emoticon, and we wanted it to avoid the virus. So what I'm showing you right now is some of the characters I did for the game, and with our team we had the emoticon boy who we were trying to feature for
Mhm.
within the game. So this is the character himself, and as you can see, there are some of the emotions he has. Like this is when he wins, he gets the shades. If he's when he sees the virus, he gets panicky. That's why you have the exclamations. Um, then here is like when he's dead, so the game is over. Yeah, so yeah, it was a very fun hackathon. This is the virus itself. So we were very fortunate to participate in this game and to participate in this hackathon. And one of the challenges, I guess, was just the time, because we really didn't know how to focus and actually get down to it and have a real good project. But we were lucky enough. Cliff was there, and he also came up with an idea that had us come in third, which was very fortunate. So what I was also going to share, if you would let me, is is a bit of the game so that you can see it on the Spark AR platform which we used. I hope you can see my screen here. Hello. Yeah, you can see my screen. Yeah. So this is the Spark AR platform, and basically, okay, I'm avoiding to using my camera here because these are some of the inputs. These are some of the default templates that come with the project with the software. So if I use my camera here, I'll have to log out. I mean, I'll have to switch the camera from myself and onto the on within the project. But as you can see, the guy here is supposed to be avoiding, and how we did it is that we were able to create a correspondence between this guy and between the character, the person himself, and the emoticon. So you're supposed to avoid. If I click here and get it to go,
Okay.
you're supposed to be collecting these things, which are the sanitizers, and I was still in the process. I'm still in the process of updating it, but also there's some viruses that he's supposed to be collecting. And as you move, there's going to be a scoring point here that helps you see how much you've accumulated. And it's a really fast game and it's fun. And it's just to remind you, like, just stay safe, keep focus, and yeah, and stay healthy, basically, because we all need each other at this time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So thank you. I think that's the most part that I had for the demo. But I will be sharing a link. I'm sure Joseph you'll allow us a time, and we'll share the link, and you could also share for the other people to also participate and see what we have to offer.
Yeah, true. Yes, we will be looking forward to the link, and thank you so much for the avoidance. And I think guys are having fun.
It's just a reminder. It's just a reminder.
Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, so let's try to avoid the virus as much as we can by, yeah, being very uh, keen on sanitizing, keeping, complying with the COVID-19 rules and regulations that were put together there by the government and the World Health Organization. And together we will kick this virus, I believe so. So at this point, I would like to introduce I would like to introduce Cliff. Yes, he's now on the call, and we had introduced him before. But during his time, will learn more about him. So kindly, one gamer, Wangari, kindly take us through Roy's interactive session. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I think I get the best parts of these conversations for today because I get to engage in a dialogue with our colleagues and colleagues who are actually in the work in the creative economy or as creative entrepreneurs. Roy, thank you very much for your presentation, and most of all, it really connects with the next part of this conversation which we are having with you, which is related to what is my worth, passion or profit, monetizing my creativity. I think this is one major area where for creative entrepreneurs and especially who are in the video gaming, we would really like to know more about how to monetize our creativity. So, Roy, passion or profit? Which one for game developers? Passion or profit? What is it for game developers?
Now, that's a very good question because one of the things when you start being as a creative, you always say you're doing it for the passion, but then you realize in the end that you'll die hungry because you can't eat the work you're doing, right? But also on the other part, the passion is what makes the creative juices run. And but of course, if you ask me if I do it for the profit, I'll say yes. Yeah, and one of the things that I find is a challenge is that sometimes we don't know our value, we don't know our worth, and when you are talking to people about it, you seem to be skeptical how to describe it and telling people like, this is what I want to do, this is what I have, and this is my worth. And when a client challenges you, sometimes you also tend to be scared. And one of the things I tell people is like, always just stay hungry and be inspired by the hunger you're going to experience. Because if you don't know that like all even doing art is very expensive. That's what I mean. Like even the painting and everything, the equipment is very expensive. I'd ask people, I'll challenge the audience to just go out and look at the price of a software. How much is it? How much does it cost to buy a Stedler pencil, even a drawing book? So you can see you can't really monetize that. You can't say you're doing that for passion, yet you don't have the equipment. So what happens? You end up being sulky, you go into a depression and that kind of thing. Yeah, but I don't know. Have I digressed or am I on point, Wangari? You're on mute.
Yes, yeah, right. Yeah, thank you. Yes, you are. And I think it's normally what we say, the chicken and egg situation. And also, I wish to also just, there is also a quote that says, everyone wants to eat, but few are willing to hunt. And I think when it comes to the creative economy, I mean, there's quite a lot of hunting, and then you are now able like to monetize or to be able to now make the profit, but it's actually your passion that enables you to stay on in the hunt. So Roy, let's talk about strategies to monetize video games. And here I'll request you to please just highlight to us 2 or 3 strategies that game developers can use to monetize their video games.
All right. I know there's some ways that for instance off the bat, I know you can monetize through advertising within the game. Like find some people to advertise in a game, like the way the newspapers do it, have advertisers who sponsor the paper. So the same thing, you can have advertisers who sponsor the game. So every time the advert runs, you are bound to make a shilling. Then another way I can also, which I see working a lot, but sometimes people are very resistant to it, is in-app purchasing. Like maybe if your character is fighting and it's a fighting game and your character needs weapons to upgrade or that kind of stuff, you can also put in a price, put on a price tag on some of the of the packs, like the experience and that kind of thing. And in some cases, I've seen like I've followed some Google events, and I've seen like the Google. I've seen some reviews on the Google Play Store where people are really complaining about the purchasing. But I saw one creative developer just go outright and answer the guy like, how is supposed to eat? How is this guy supposed to be paid? How is supposed to pay the developers? And the last one, which I find is very interesting sometimes, is how you package the game. Some people also use other things like the characters within the game to create merchandise like dolls and toys, so that as the game is being free, people can buy some other stuff on the side like tags and t-shirts and that kind of stuff. So that also helps you beat the gap. Like you meet the end where you feel you're falling off, and yeah, it can help. It also assists with the money part. Yeah, so far that's what I think I should. I think that's what I can share so far. I don't know if that's satisfactory, Wangari. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, thank you for that. And I truly believe that this can be a full conversation that we can be able to host at one of the subsequent questions, because the context of how to be able to make a living and also how to really maximize on let me say the creative talent that is out there in video gaming, that is, I think, can be a full session that we can have some other times. So thanks for that. I think I'm also quite curious with regard to another area which we can be able to speak on probably on at another session, which could be a developing area with regard to data monetization for game developers, because there is a lot of data that is generated as people do play the games. And so I think that could also be part of the subsequent conversation that we have the next time when we have a conversation on monetization. What's your thought, Roy?
Now, the thing is, I also realize when you're copywriting this kind of thing, like normally when you're going to copyright, what I learned is that you actually copyright the code. You copyright the code, but so that when someone is going to steal it, or the game mechanics, so when someone is stealing or someone is trying to make use of it without your consent, you're able to curb them, because as we say, it's passion, and passion also can be very, how can I put it? You can be on the edge, because this thing is also not as easy as it seems. Because the delivery can look very simple, but the coding is what keeps people up. And I know the whole process is actually it's very fun, but it's also sometimes tedious. So yeah, I believe the data monetization is very important, especially when it comes to, if you want to how can I say, if you're looking out for something that stands out in the project, the mechanic, the code, that kind of thing is what really drives the game itself, and that's how people find out that this is what makes this game distinctive from the other. Yeah. So yeah, I believe so. I agree with you.
Okay. So as we get into closing, Roy, and for this I will request that Wendy Ndaki, who we just had a conversation with, I'll come to her and just inquire from her if she has any thoughts on monetization.
Okay.
And but yeah, so Roy, what's your either one word or a sentence that you can share with with game developers when it comes to monetization in 2021? I see that, for us, we are saying recall, reconvene, connect, and as we reconnect, and today we are reconnecting, playing in isolation. What's your one word or sentence for game developers when it comes to game monetization in 2021?
Uh, all right. How can I put it? I'll just say that money. How can I say? Money can fuel the movement, but the art is what nourishes the soul. What I mean is that just stay inspired by the hunger that you have for the development of your work, but always remember that money is what makes you move, especially when it comes to the thing that you want to achieve in life. Yeah, so stay hungry, stay inspired.
So that's quite interesting because yes, stay hungry, stay foolish. Steve Jobs, 1955 to 20, born in 1955. Stay hungry, stay foolish, and Roy, you've actually told us that money makes the wheels move. Let me say, money makes the wheels move, but it's the art that nourishes and the art that keeps you in the passion, and also just that keeps you running or rolling. So, Roy, thank you so much for your words for our game
Thank you. Thank
developers
you.
into 2021. I know we'll be coming back to you right after we have been able to look at the demo that we'll be receiving from Cliff, so that you can tell us a bit about your thoughts on the area of coding, whether coding is for everyone, what the views are from Cliff. So Wendy, probably you can just share with us what your thought is on monetization when it comes to game development. And yes.
Okay. So actually, the idea I have monetization isn't necessarily around game development, but around the act of playing games. So this is not as popular in Africa, but there are people in abroad who play games and record the gameplay, and then post it on YouTube and get monetary value from that. So even as game developers, we are also gamers. We like playing games as well. So on the side, we could also get that, monetizing our passion for playing games through streaming our gameplay on YouTube. So that's something we'll try out in the future. And also in line with monetization, when you do get clients, it's very important for you to have contracts, because I have been in situations where I do the work, then I have to wait for very long to get the money. Right now I'm cushioned in many ways, but in the future when probably I have a family, then it will be tricky to be waiting for clients like this. So I'm working on contracts so that when I'm dealing with clients, there's a certain time they're supposed to pay me, and after which they get a fine, and they pay me because of the time and that I had to wait and had to go through some challenges because of the wait. So I think it's important to have contracts as creative entrepreneurs when it comes to dealing with clients. Yeah, that's my take for that. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, that's really powerful. And yeah, thank you so much, Wendy, for pointing that out. I just would like to poke Roy a little bit when he said money is just the fuel. And indeed, when he participated in a project and it was a win, I just want to say congratulations to him, man. Seeing someone hold something like that was amazing. But you know what, guys, don't go to Roy. This whatever the one is for developing the game further. So yeah. He's not giving it
But
away.
I wasn't alone anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah. All these are members of Enter Africa. All the people you see in the picture.
Yes, yes, there's
Uh,
Calvin, there's Cliff.
Africa is
Yes,
taking their hand. Yeah,
and
yeah.
thank you,
So,
and thank you for highlighting that, and to Black Rhino.
yeah,
Yeah.
Black Rhino. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, let's move on. At this point, we'd like to introduce another Shuja, another member of Enter Africa, who is none other than Cliff Gore. Yes. Yeah, and I'm still being reminded that money is not the only money is not the only thing. It's fuel, but you first of all need to have yes, you have to have the drive, the talent, the passion, and everything. So Wangari, kindly let us know who is our next speaker or our next interactive person.
Okay. So thank you very much for the. So far, we have been able to hear from Wendy at it, and that's Wendy Ndaki, and also Roy Kisielo. And so we've shared on women in gaming in the interactive discussion, and also with the next part, we have been able to speak on monetization. For this next segment, we will have a demo from which will be run by Cliff Gore, and the demo is actually a presentation of the Enter Africa website. Cliff, good evening, and you may kindly be able to share your screen so that we can be able to see the what is coming up for the Enter Africa Nairobi website, which will be available and up for the public from tomorrow morning. So today you get a first-hand view of the Enter Africa website. Cliff, you're able to screen? So that shows the Reconnect game, the Busara game, which was part of the main Enter Africa game, and also Unplugged. Okay.
Wow.
So,
And
Joseph, it's like
yeah.
we are up for greater things. When we talk about what the one word for 2021, and
Mhm.
Cliff has given us the one words on our website, and we are looking forward that tomorrow it will be able to be live, and the public can be able to access it, and we are able to showcase much more. Yeah, Joseph.
Yes, thank you so much, Cliff, for that. And thank you so much. There is this is just a work in progress, as we say. I wanted to share the trailer to, what Cliff has just shared, the trailer to Reconnect. Yeah, just to, keep keep our guys updated that, more things are coming, or this team is a team to reckon with. So shall we play something? Welcome. Please enter your password. Yeah. Just one more time.
That voice sounds familiar.
Yeah, the voice sounds familiar. I think one of us, yeah, was able to voice that, and that's Wendy at it. She was at it again this time, voicing for Reconnect trailer, or the teaser itself. And yeah, Reconnect characters will also still be voiced by some members of Enter Africa Nairobi, and even the public. I mean, we are open to. We always want to work with, the like-minded people, the creatives, and whatever Cliff has just shared about the website and more about Reconnect will be expounded by Roy. Please, do would you mind? Would you
Thank you,
share?
thank you again. So Cliff, given me this opportunity to talk again. I hope you'll pay me. Uh, so, all right. So one of the points which I see is described here is that in his viewing, like coding, because I think is expounding on what Wangara had asked earlier, and he's
Yeah.
saying like his viewing coding is about passion. It can be for everyone, and
Mhm.
although at times people want to learn fast, it
Yeah.
doesn't work. And he says that even coding in the same case, it can be basically it's a learning. It has a learning curve. You just can't jump the hoops, thinking that you can get there. You have to go through the process. And
Mhm.
um, apart from that, he also says that okay, I can't see the other one. Yeah, but
Okay.
yes, but he says he also takes up any questions and answer. He can take any questions later off the call. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I hope I've captured everything, Cliff, because I'm not sure. There's something you've written here, but I can't see it.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He says like yeah. It's just as I say here, as I've said here. He says that it's just about passion, but at the same time, you also have to find the money to build your foundation. Because, as I said earlier, the money is what drives some of the process. Because
Mm.
um, you really can't. As I say, one of the things I really had to struggle with is going through work hungry. Like you really can't do it. You as much as you think you can do it, you really can't go the whole mile. So yeah. So basically, me and Cliff agree on that point. uh, yeah. So that's it. Yeah. I think I've covered it so far.
Mhm.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you so much. Well, how about Wendy? I do understand that you also do. Right now, this year, you've gone to some extent into coding. Would you like to maybe give a comment about that as we wrap?
Um, yes, so my experience with coding was through Google scholarship I got on coding for websites. Yes, so I find that I love web design because I'm a creative and an artist, a visual artist. I've fallen in love with web design, so that's why I applied for the scholarship. But then I feel like coding requires a lot of passion, just the way Cliff has put it. It can be quite challenging at some point, especially the coding for gaming. Yeah, so it needs a lot of passion. And if you'd like to get into it, I'd urge you to be patient also, because it's a journey. There's a lot to be learned, but once you learn it, it will be a satisfying experience if it's something that you really love doing. Yeah, so all the best to everyone who wants to start some coding. Yeah.
Wow, all the best, all the best, all the best to everyone. And I said it's encouraging to hear from both of you guys, or all of us here. You guys are young and passionate, and especially now to the ladies who think again this space is only for a few selected few. I think seeing that Wendy and Wangare are here is a really a big reason enough to say this is possible, this has been done, is being is happening, and will still be done in the future. So yes, that's very possible. We are winding up at this point. I would like to share what's next for Enter Africa. So I think each one of us will will say in their own way, like what do they think, or what is next for Enter Africa Nairobi going to 2021. What's next for you as a member of Enter Africa, or as a member of a creative in the Kenyan gaming and animation space? Anyone can take it. If you can't be heard, you can just type on the chat box, and Wangare or myself will read what is next. Yeah. So Cliff God says.
Okay,
All right.
Joseph.
Okay.
Yes, Joseph. I see on the chat that what next? Something big, and I think also it speaks for itself, because from tomorrow we actually have the website that's up and running. I also see new games coming in 2021, and also partnerships, I think, for the
Wow.
Enter African Nairobi Collective. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
very
back to you,
impressive.
Joseph.
And received much greetings from the president of Enter Africa Nairobi, that is Philip. He could not make it, but his love and wishes and thoughts are with you guys. And yes, as we've said, look forward to greater and greater things in the new year 2021. It's only a few days from now, and it's keeping hope and faith and working, because we've been reminded that a hungry artist never performs better. So we kind of need to monetize our trade. And art is business. Art is a profession. It's not a hobby. It's a serious business. It's a skill as much as it's a talent. So thank you so much, Enter Africans. Our social media handles, if you like to connect to us, we have our social media handles as well as our email addresses. So, Wangari, kindly take us through our contacts or our handles if guys would like to connect with us.
Okay. To connect with Enter Africa Nairobi, the website is eanrb.co. That's eanrb.co. That is a website to be able to connect with us. On Instagram at Enter Africa NRB, and on Twitter at Enter Africa NRB. At Enter Africa NRB. And you can also reach us on email, that is enterafricanrb@gmail.com. And you can also be able to reach to the colleagues on the team through their social media handles. So thank you, Joseph. We are reachable on Twitter, Enter African NRB, Instagram, Enter Africa NRB, and also on YouTube, Enter Africa Nairobi. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nairobi. And this is Enter Africa. We would like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a joyous and gamified New Year 2021.
And continue to reconnect when as we playing together in isolation. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Could each and every one of us wish guys something for the new year? We are so excited. Yeah.
I just wish everyone the best. Well, but I was going to ask Joseph if he could please play the trailer again for the Reconnect. so that
Yeah.
people could actually see what's coming up. But yeah, thank you very much, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, as Joseph said, and a Happy New Year and a prosperous New Year. We hope that things will open up, and I hope that we are still learning, staying hungry. Uh, Wendy, perhaps you have something.
Yes, just as everyone else has said, have yourself a Merry Christmas, and I wish that your next year will. Sorry, yeah, I wish you all the best next year, and that you'll open up to the opportunities that are out there and embrace them boldly. Yes, so all the best, and have a prosperous new year. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Asante Sana, I believe Joseph is, after we have received the messages, we are getting the Reconnect demo.
All right. The trailer is going in 3, 2, and. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. This is Enter Africa, Nairobi, and yes, this is Reconnect. I pray that we keep reconnecting, convening, as well as connecting, and let's keep playing together in isolation. Thank you. Until next year. Bye from us.